Hello everyone, I'm Damini, your host for today, and today we have with us Mr. Kunal Dey, who's an associate at Argus and Partners. So welcome Kunal, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation on a very short notice.
Yeah, actually, it's like though we are doing this on a Sunday and I'm basically half asleep, but still I'll try to be as engaging as possible, and I'm sure I'll give you good content for your LinkedIn profile, basically. But yes, I think I'll try to be as entertaining as I can be. But yeah, it's a Sunday evening, so yeah, pardon me if
Thank you
I'm
so
not up
much.
to my
Thank
singing.
you so much.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
amazed to see such sort of vibes from you. But Kunal, you need to share your law school journey with us as to what sort of activities you were engaged in. Because the viewers who's going to watch this video, the very first question which pops out is like, what did you do when you were in law school? What sort of activities you did?
So my law school has been like quite an interesting journey, I would say, because I will take a little bit of time, but let's see. I'll start from my first year, not in detail. But so first year is very short because I didn't do anything much. To be very honest, so first year I actually spent making friends. I made good relations with people who actually stayed with me till the end of 5 years, and even now we are very close friends. And even so, we don't talk every day, but even if you're like just call them once and tell them, "Ki, I'm coming to your town," so we are available for each other. So that is the amount of close bond we share. So first year, I think I just got introduced to a lot of things. I think I first year, the first thing I think I did was the parliamentary debate because believe it or not, I was not a good speaker when I actually entered law school. So I was not a very good speaker. I had issues with speaking publicly. So I started doing a lot of debate competitions because I always believe that if you have to achieve something, you have to go beyond your comfort zone. So I used to put myself in those uncomfortable situations where I could, learn something new and push myself to a different limit. Besides that, I think in first year I started off this initiative called Jagriti, which is a which was an association by few of our friends, and where we actually used to teach underprivileged children and middle-aged adults who had to leave their jobs or leave their education for that matter for doing jobs or because of the financial conditions. So our very first student was our juice wala who used to sell juice right outside our college gate. And we actually ended up after like teaching him for 2 3 years, we actually ended up teaching him enough that he could read English, he could write his name in English, and he would even he could use a laptop also. Like he bought a laptop in his third year. So yeah, so I think that like small efforts. We used to also go and teach in few ashrams. We did a few ashrams also. Like so yeah. So I think that was my first year. Did a lot of social service that way. And second year onwards, I became hell bent upon like studies. I was not a very topper kind of a student, but yes, I was in I would say top 15 20 of my class that way. Uh, so usme, but I used to spend a lot of time in my co-curriculars. I used to do a lot of mooting. So from second year onwards, I had a very cogent and a very supportive and we used to stick together. Like this mooting team I had. So there was Parikshit Tangotia and Shakib Naro. So these two people were my moot teammates, and we did a lot of moots together. And I think second year onward, there was no looking back from there. I think third year maybe went to endless arbitration. We did well in endless arbitration. After that, we decided to pick up Jessup, and Jessup was a different journey altogether, which uh, I think I remember that during Jessup, my own sister was getting married, and I actually did not attend her reception because my hearing the case uh, competition was on the next day. So I think Jessup taught me how to sacrifice and put your work before your personal commitments, and that is I think is somewhat necessary when you're trying to join a law firm in the future. Like you have to understand your work comes first. So I think that is what Jessup taught me. And for 6 months, we were in college. We did not go anywhere. We were stuck in one room. And in Dehradun, it was like 2 degrees, 1 degrees. And, in that climate, you have to draft and, prepare and everything. So it was very difficult. But I think we pulled through. We could have done a lot better in Jessup. But I think that was a very eye opener for us. We did not lose because we were bad. We lost because there were people who are better than us. Okay. So I think that is where I realized that, okay, uh, something needs to be done. Also, during my second and third year, I was working with Loctopus. So second year, I was a college manager for Loctopus, and third year, they liked my work, so they recruited me to their core team. So we were three people then: Tanuj Kalia, me, and Abhimanyu Rajpurohit. So I was a community manager for Loctopus, and I used to maintain the entire college managers network all over India. So I am still in touch with few of them, and I met very good people and very nice friends from there. And I think I don't know, I don't even remember how many law colleges were there, but it was a huge Excel sheet I used to remember. And there was around 110 law schools and around 300 people that I used to manage. Tanuj was very helpful in that case, and very supportive for that matter. During that time, I was also the campus ambassador for LexisNexis. So I think these two actually gave me a lot of I got to know a lot of people through there, and my networking became, so that's why my networking thing started. And then I started organizing conferences. I was a convener for a few of the conferences in my college. So I used to do all this along with my course. So this was extracurricular, because mooting and research paper, this thing is your co-curricular. But these things, your conferences and getting involved in all these activities apart from work, because see, I think Loctopus also helped me to earn a pocket money. So third year onwards, I didn't have to ask for my parents for money to spend on the different college stuff that we do. So I think yes. So I think after losing Jessup, I think it was a little of a setback for me, because I remember I actually gave up my internships because I was committed that I wanted to do well, and that really did affect me, because my marks went for a toss, the entire CGPA fell, and so I had to go get back on my feet, and that is when I decided to go and intern with Rub and Rub. And so basically I applied, and Ajar Rub was very kind in that case. So Ajar Rub took me in, and I think so I think fifth year, so I got a taste of the actual law practice, how it is happening. And they go internship, when you're doing for a month, you get to know, I would say 20%. But when you're with a firm, with a person for a prolonged period of time, let's say 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, then you develop, first thing is a trust. Secondly, you are working on a matter continuously. So people will be more trustworthy. They will give you a more opportunity. They will involve you more, because they know you're not leaving in a month. Okay. So I think that advantage I could reap, and I would always suggest that anyone who is here and who has an opportunity of interning with some law firm, so please, from your fourth year onwards, if you can cut down a little bit on your partying, you can party on a Saturday night. That's completely fine. But I would say that Monday to Friday, agar tum ye kar sakte ho, if you have that opportunity, please do that. There is no better exposure than, because so it gives you a lot of exposure that way. And obviously, so take your internships very seriously, because there's a huge gap, huge gap. We'll come to that later probably. That the huge gap which is there between academia and the demands of a corporate law firm as on date. So I think so that pretty much sums up my law school journey. It was quite a boring one, basically. Nothing,
I don't
not
think
too
so
much
that
of
it was
concepts.
boring. It was very happening, because the way you actually portrayed your law school journey, that actually showed like you were serious and you were not serious. So, it was a 50-50 thing. But like you said in the last, that you actually interned with Rub and Rub, and that was a lifelong experience. So, Kunal, how many
Yeah.
internships you did when you were in law schools? Because what happens is, right now, whenever we open LinkedIn, people are actually struggling to get internships where they want to intern, right? Because I don't know for what reason they are not getting. There can be so many internal reasons that are happening in the firm. But as to, like, we would like to know as to how many internships you did. And in the end, if you could just tell the law students who are going to watch this video as to how many internships ideally they should do, and they should be satisfied after it. Because number of internships matters, or the quality of the internship matter. You seriously need to address this issue.
So basically, in terms of quantity, I would say I did around 15 internships. So I would say that's a decent number. But I would suggest that, see, in my second year, I was working. So I was very clear in my objective. Okay, so I wanted to work for a law firm from very initial beginning. So I used to try to target my internships mostly towards law firms, and there. So I think that was. So I would say in terms of quantity, don't go for quantity rather than go for the experience, because, and also I think first one, second, third year, so you can experiment. You can do a litigation internship, you can do a corp internship, you can do also an NGO internship, whatever you feel like. First, second year, you can do that. But I think third year onwards, you need to be focused. Your CV needs to shape up in a particular way. So if you're saying that I want to become a corporate lawyer, or I want to become a litigation lawyer, I want to become a civil lawyer or a commercial disputes lawyer, whatever, your CV needs to show that. And also right now with the demand that is increasing, also the practice area that you would like to develop. So ऐसा नहीं है कि, for example, I remember we receive a lot of CVs where it is said that we can intern both for disputes as well as insolvency restructuring, or we can do banking and finance also. कि जो मिले, you give it to us. But that is not the case. You understand the dynamics of a litigation professional, that of a banking and insolvency professional is substantially different. Okay, so you can't really compare these two. A person who's doing banking and finance won't take much interest in disputes. Similarly, like vice versa. Also, I would always suggest that, please concentrate on the type of application you're sending, and especially the practice area that you're trying to apply for. Like, that is important. Also, the office, which office you want to intern for. Like Mumbai, Calcutta, Bangalore, so find out which department, everything is there on the website. Like, you need to make that certain effort in order to understand that what is the requirement of the firm, what are they looking for, and also check out the associate profiles, check out the partner profiles. It's all there. So understand if you're trying to, and I would always suggest that before you join an internship, if you have got to know that this is a team probably I'm going to work with, please try to find out about the team, try to understand which are the people you're going to be working with. It will help you immensely during the whole period of the internship. And and also one more thing which I wanted to tell the people who are applying for internships, that whenever you are interning with a law firm, after you have interned with a law firm, don't stop contacting them. Like, don't be like, so I know a lot of people who have actually, after interning with any law firm for that matter, have not kept contact with the partner or the associate or anything of that sort. So don't do that, because you never know when an opportunity might crop up for you. So please do maintain the relationship. Your networking will take you a long way. And I tell this to every law student, that your hard work is 60%, but 40% is also your networking, where it leads you to places. Okay, so if your networking is strong, in that case, it will make wonders for you. And please be in touch with people. If you have written an article, now see, when I be in touch, when I mean, like, don't call them up every time and so don't do that. But yes, I would suggest that, okay, let's say you have written an article which might be of interest to that particular person. Okay, so then send that article to that person. Sir, I have written on this particular topic. Please have a look or share your thoughts on the same. Something like that. It should not. Now, for example, whenever you're writing something or whenever you're communicating something, you must be adding value. So even if you're sending one update to a partner, so it should be adding some value to his time. कि वो पढ़ के उसको कुछ फायदा होना चाहिए. Otherwise, there is no point. Okay, so please, whenever you're maintaining relationship, maintain this, and I'm sure that the partner will appreciate it, because see, that's the part of it. And I think when you're coming for an internship, one more thing, instead of interning at 10 different places, intern at one place and intern there again and again. Try to intern with the same team again and again, so that you know that team in and out, what work they do, how they do it, and what are the demands of the client. Because understand something, that internship and associate में बहुत difference होता है. And the only difference I'll tell you in that is, it's about responsibility. When you become an associate, you need to start taking responsibility for your actions. And I think that is somewhere the whole difference lies. That if you have done something wrong, you have to accept it, that fine, yes, I have done this thing which is wrong. And I think if you can start taking the responsibility as an internship stage itself, I think it can do wonders for you. Take your internships as seriously as you take your exams. You consider this is an exam for me, because your exam might not land your job, but this might. Okay. So I think this is where
Actually,
the
a sort
difference
of
lies.
very positive and a very good advice for law students, because people say that they want some sort of PPO from a firm that they could not get it. So I think there is a reason behind it as to how much effort you're putting, right? Getting a PPO is
See,
not an easy task.
I'll tell you, Damini, is that there is always place for good people. So if someone tells you that they're clients, and if you're a smart kid, you're a sharp brain who is professional, who is on time also, be on time, show up, dress well. All these things are very important. Okay. The professionalism part is something which is very important, which law firms look for. So if you are that, and I think the responsibility thing, I think that is what that makes a person get a PPU and someone who doesn't get a PPU. That's it. It's just about responsibility. You don't take responsibility for your work, then right. So that's it.
Yeah.
This is one example of networking I can give you. So I was judging I was judging Jessup India rounds this year itself. So over there was this one team from Nalsar and one team from NLIU Bhopal. I remember them vividly because they were a very good team. Like they argued, like I tried to, put them tough questions into tough situations, but they got away. They had an answer for everything. So that really impressed me. And after the rounds got over, and one of the teams, so that was a moment of quality for me, and quality really impressed me at that point of time. And I always remember those teams. Similarly, there are previous Jessup teams also who I met in previous rounds, and I remember this. So that is one way of networking. So people say that they do moot court only for a CV. I would say don't do moot court only for a CV. Do moot court because it's a brilliant place to network. A brilliant place. वहाँ पे you will meet so many people who will there. I remember when I did endless arbitration, I met so many people during endless arbitration. A lot of people from Tri-Legal. So yeah, I think these places are like a hub. You won't find so many professionals at one place at the same time, and good people. Okay. So I would say that use moot courts, use conferences, research papers. Don't just go there to present my paper. Like तुम्हारा ये object नहीं होना चाहिए कि सुबह I'll present the paper, शाम को I'll party, next day I'll be going back. That should not be the object. Your object should be networking, presenting the paper, networking, and at the end, if you get time, just go a tour of the city. If you will get an opportunity in the future. Also, the city is not going anywhere, but you might not have this setup again in your life. One more thing, I would always focus on before I send random invitations to a lot of person. I would always suggest that focus on building your personal brand. If you're a student, also focus on building your personal brand. Like if today let's say you send me a request, the first thing I'll do is I'll go and see your profile, right? So make sure your LinkedIn profile is top notch. Okay, make sure that you mentioned your features, your education, your publication, everything. Your LinkedIn profile should be your mini CV. So it's your digital CV basically. So it's like optimal utilization of your LinkedIn profile. Please do that and build your personal brand. Try to target those like India Cop Law. These are few places where professionals also read, like legal. I'm talking from a corp perspective, like corporate professionals read, dispute people also read it, and it's written both by professionals also and by students also. So try to target those kind of platforms which is visited both by professionals as well as students. अगर आप सिर्फ student focus journal या conference में जाते रहेंगे तो उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है, because your reach is only between students. Some student in probably JNU or GNLU or NALSA for that matter will know who you are. But your object is not to make the other college person know who you are. The object is to make the law firm people or your target firm people know who you are, right? So your conferences that you should attend, or the papers you write, or the moods you do, should be all targeted towards firstly your practice area, the interest area, and also the type of law firm you're trying to attract as your future job prospect. So please be very clear about all these things and don't do things in random. Don't do this thing because don't be a part of the rat race. कि मेरे senior ने ये move किया था, उनको बहुत popularity मिली थी college में and they got very famous after winning it. So I will also do this. Understand whether this will help you or not. Probably you are a person who is not interested in corporate law at all. For example, a lot of people after endless arbitration, they suggested me you do Surana corporate because it's a good mood for corporate law. But I said I wanted to do international law because मुझे कोई interest था international law में अभी भी है. That's why I still judge Jessup every year. So that was my plan, okay, but that was my personal decision. So be very clear about that. Don't just do things in random. Don't follow the rat race. Understand that every human being is different. Everyone's strategy is different, and what might work for you might not work for the other person. So don't be a part of the rat race.
As to what sort of networking you actually encourage and ask people to do, because this is very monotonous trend happening in the market right now, that people are just texting you with a CV and asking for a internship, right? But personal branding and networking is something that you should do daily. Every moment you network with a lot of people, but there is a way. And I'm not saying that you can just only network, or you can just only network with lawyers by just sending messages. You can just start up something, right? Just do something, just invite them over something and just talk to them, because that person needs to know you as to who you are. Because I was just interviewing the other lawyer, I think the previous month only. So I just had a very good conversation with him, and he said that sometimes I get very vague sort of request in LinkedIn that, sir, I'm this. So can you please accept me as an intern at your firm? He said, like, how can I accept you or recommend you as an intern when I don't even know you? I don't even know what your name is. I just saw that something is being mentioned on the LinkedIn, and from where only, like, I got to know that your name is this, right? So how can I recommend you for an internship? So people need to understand. And sometimes I too get messages that people don't even know that I'm a student. I'll make it very clear. I never said this, but today I'll do. Like, everyone's gonna watch this video. Please understand that I'm a student. Even I get a request for sort of internships that, ma'am, why don't you take us to your whatever you're doing? Like, if you just want to network, at least just check the profile of the person as to whom you're talking, right? For me, if I just want to do network with a lot of people, what I do is I just give a sort of random check on their profile as to who the person is, from where he's graduated, what sort of batch he is. So, these are the little sort of things that you need to focus on before, before just sending the random message, which you always, try to copy paste. So this is something you need to change.
So basically, I would say that it's almost something which we call in the corporate world that we call something like, this is called cold call. So this is like nothing but a cold call. Okay. So, and understand something, cold call never works. Okay. So I would always say that build a relationship. Try to build a relationship with that person. But I understand, for a student, you might say, how would I do that? How would I build a relationship? Because obviously, for that person, I'm not reachable to that person. How will I make that person see my profile? So I would always suggest, the moment he accepts your invitation to connect, don't send him an interview. Don't send him an application request for internships. Okay, don't do that. That's a complete no-no. You lose your internship chance right there. Because obviously they don't know you. So give him time to know you. So what you do is, you make your posts regular on LinkedIn. And I'm telling you guys, whoever a professional, every legal professional now is almost active on LinkedIn. He or she will see your post. Make that person see your post. Let him see your post, tell him what you're doing. Now, I've also recently saw this culture that people have started posting screenshots of their internship application, admin, like acceptance request to, on your LinkedIn. Please don't do that. Firstly, law firms don't appreciate you putting out things like that in the public, first thing. Second is that it's not required. What do you want to prove to the other person? Like, fine, you did an internship. After you did an internship, probably you can just make a post about what was the experience like. What did you learn?
And you
What
know
was
what,
that
like
two
one
cents?
thing which I would just like to
Yeah.
mention over there, that even you are very active on LinkedIn, and you might have noticed, if you just start working on somewhere, a notification goes to everyone that you've started working somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So there is no need to post the pictures, right?
So even I'll give that to them. Right, then that's fine. That's still okay. That's okay because see, you're informing people that you're interning at this place. So I think sometimes I even look at people that probably that person interned with Argus and probably now is interning with Sam or Cam or anything, whichever. So that's okay. I'm completely fine with that. But my internship that makes you hireable. So I would suggest that instead of putting up your internship certificate, write a good post. Write about things that you liked about the firm. You learned from, probably there was this one beautiful case you worked upon and you gained a very good insight about it. Don't disclose obviously the client details, but yeah, this mention about the issue of law which was involved in it, that this was while interning with probably with Argus partners, I worked on this issue and this was very interesting. I learned on this position of law and the nuances associated with it. And even best, after making that post, probably you can write an article about it if there is some, if it's a res integra position of law, and share it with the team that you work with. They would appreciate more that. They will actually say that you have taken something out of their experience. So do that. So I think these are something which leads a long way for your personal branding, because personal branding, see, it does not happen in a day. It's not that आज मैं चालू करूंगा लिखना और मेरा 30 days में my brand will become like, oh my god, who is the student, everyone is chasing that person. It's not that. It's a process. You have to commit to that process. Okay. And if you commit to that process and if you're honest about it, I'm sure it will bear results, because it has for me. And I'm telling you, I landed our Argus partners from LinkedIn. Okay. So, yeah. So LinkedIn is actually I actually landed up 6 to 7 of my internships from LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is actually a very, very powerful tool, but I had never sent a cold message to anyone that please accept my request. It's never that. I might have sent a request, something like that, hi sir, we met during this, because obviously that was pre-COVID times. So probably I would send like, hi sir, we met during this event and we had this small chat. Please let me know if you're free. We will probably have engage in a small discussion on this point of law. Probably you can say that I'm writing this paper and would like to take your insights on it. So this is how you build a relationship. Don't say that accept my application, because for them, they will be like, but you're making a relationship just because you want an internship. You have got nothing to do with that person. तुमने internship लगवा दिया उसका, but then that is the point you're done with that person. So that should not be you should not be giving this feeling to that professional, because the moment you give that feeling, you're done. Okay. Doesn't happen that way. So make a relationship, build a relationship on solid grounds where you're helping, where you're adding value, get into a discussion and don't be afraid of discussion. And I'm telling you, people, professionals are very open to it. There might be people who are not open to it. If they're not open to discussing with you, they're also not open to accepting your internship application in the very first. So that would have been an anywhere no.
Yeah, and
so
I think that's pertinent to mention that, there are so many professionals and industry experts who are there to help you for sure. I wouldn't say that if you are just reaching out to someone on LinkedIn and nobody's going to help you. Even if I need to mention about my personal experience as to how I land up getting so many lawyers for my talk show is only through LinkedIn. Even I approached you from LinkedIn only, right?
Yeah.
So there is a way as to how you approach someone. I'm not saying that you should not text anyone on LinkedIn, but there is a way as to how you do that. Even, there was a post of 6 months back on my LinkedIn that I was getting a lot of messages from students as to how do you choose as to who you want to interview, right? So this is something I don't choose, because I'm no one to choose as to whom should I interview and whom should I not, because I don't even know about the other person, right? But I can just view the profile and decide as to, yes, this is the person like I want everyone to hear the story of, right? So I think LinkedIn is something you really need to understand that how it goes, right? Like you need not send a particular sort of message, okay, only for internship. At least if you have done something, you just start doing that. Even I still remember there was a lawyer, I texted him for this law talk show only, but he said that he's not comfortable, what do you call it, talking a lot about himself. Like he never wanted to share his law school journey or something like that. I was like, okay, sir, He thought
Yeah,
that
that's
I
fine.
might not talk to that person again because he thought that, yeah, he rejected my proposal. So why should I contact him, right? But I think after a month, I was just writing a sort of article, a blog. So I saw that he was into disputes. So I was just writing a paper on the same. So I just texted him, sir, if you could just please mind this, like, I just want to ask you something. Can you please give me some sort of time for this, or can I just call you? He's like, I'll be happy to help you. So I think, you
Correct.
should
Correct.
make relations like this, that the other person should realize his or her importance. Just because he
Right. So
rejected my
that's
proposal
what I was
doesn't
telling
mean
you.
that I won't talk to
Exactly.
that person again, right? So this sort of relationship you're actually talking about, and I think that's very important for people to understand.
Yeah, I think that is exactly what I would suggest people, that you know because see, I don't see any other way this thing going, because yeah, I understand a lot of people have been under a lot of stress, especially during the last 2 years, and internships, but this internship thing has been, I think, anyway, it's been evergreen. Right? I think COVID is not a issue there. Uh, but yeah, like, and also whenever you're calling the person for this particular issue, don't make it up. Like, be very genuine about it, because that person will understand that you're making this thing up. So don't do that, because so yeah. So I think if you're so that's what I'm saying. If you have to be honest to yourself, firstly, be honest and truthful to yourself, and to be genuine to the other person. If you are really genuine, the person will help you. Like, there is no shortcut to success. I always tell people there is no shortcut to success. You will have to slog. Like, people who are in the profession also are slogging. If you people think that people who are want to enter a law firm, your life is done and you are just enjoying money, you're sleeping on a bed of money. Yes, you might be financially well off. Yes, that is not a problem, but still you need to deliver, right? You need to deliver. You are being hired for providing few services. You need to provide these services, right? So I think as a lawyer, I would always suggest for any individual in a law school that focus on being a good professional, a service person, because understand something, that at the end of the day you're a service professional. Very simple example, I suggest that please get do everything that you want to establish yourself as a service professional, and imagine yourself that tomorrow, let's say, even if you're not working for a law firm and you want to work independently, and there's a client who approaches you for some advice, and tomorrow, today, let's say you make a mistake and probably it comes from the firm, you are safe because you're an associate. Probably the partner will have to get all the backlash from the client. But tomorrow, when you have your own client and you're basically, because of your advice, your client loses the matter or has some loss, it's your reputation at stake, right? So please understand these things, and the earlier you understand, the better it is for you. And I think internships and your law school life, it is something where you need to start learning, because the competition is just getting difficult and not easier by the day. So you need to start understanding this point from your internship days itself, that please become a good professional. Your objective is to be there. You have the Three Idiots ka Rancho ka dialogue, no? That
Yeah,
uh, you know that कामयाब होने के लिए नहीं, काबिल होने के लिए पढ़ो.
सही
It's
बात है.
like, it's actually
Exactly.
very, very true. If you are really, if you really read well, and if you really strive hard and focus on this thing, that I want to become a good professional. If you are good, people will come for you. There is no, I am telling you, Damini, at this point of time, there are jobs, but you have to understand the market. A lot of law schools don't focus on explaining the students the legal market. You need to understand the demand of the market. You need to understand what the market is trying to, like, what is the demand in the next 10 years? Which segment of corporate law has demand? Corporate law is a very vast field. Corporate law is not only M&A. Corporate law might be a private equity also. It might be fintech also, which is a very upcoming sector in the long run. So there are so many things, so many departments of corp law. Insolvency restructuring has been obviously been quite an active phase since 2016. But again, everything has a stagnancy period also. We had a lot of issues last year. But again, with the COVID times, I think banking, finance, restructuring, insolvency, M&A, these are the practice areas which actually increased rapidly in the last 1 or 2 years. So you need to understand, because pre-COVID, post-COVID, the demands of law firms have also changed very considerably. So you need to adapt to the market. You need to understand the market. Don't be a part of the herd. Okay, because just doing 10 moods or 10 research papers doesn't matter if you're probably you're writing, let's say you have 10 publications, but that's on justice system, or let's say some other topic, and you're applying for a corporate law firm. What the corporate law firm will do with a topic on like that? But on the other hand, let's say there are two candidates. One is person who has written such kind of law papers or they have done constitutional moves, criminal law moves, and are applying for a corporate law firm. Similarly, there's one person who has written only corporate law papers, or not only, but he has like 5-6 good, 2-3 good publications to his name, has done good corporate law moves, or has taken few courses on corporate law or on the segment that he's applying upon. We will obviously be more inclined towards taking that person than the other one, right? It's just common sense. So you have to understand the market. You have to understand what you're applying for. And whoever tells you this thing, I see so many Instagram posts and so many bloggers that tell you that it's excellent to not to have a plan, and it's completely fine if you don't have figured out life till your 5th year. It's not. It's not okay if you have not figured out life till your 5th year. It means that there is something wrong with your preparation. It means something you are confused. Probably you want to do something else, and law is not the thing for you. Because if you are actually serious about law, you will decide by your 3rd year. It doesn't take 5 years to decide which segment or profession you want to. Yes, you can say कि corporate में कौन से department में जाना है, that I'm not sure. That's fine. But whether you want to become a litigator or a corporate lawyer, I think that's pretty much clear by your 3rd year. That because up to 3rd year, if you're doing 2 internships in a year, I would say that by the time you've done 6 internships, so I think 6 internships is quite enough to give a person an outlook of what is litigation and what is corporate. You will know. So please don't fall for all those things which say that it's fine. There's no problem. We can figure out life on a later stage. It's not that easy. So please get serious from your 3rd year onwards if you really want to do well in your life. And this is okay. So if you have a good CV, let's say you are from a non-NU college, okay, and you are a good student, you have a good CV, and you apply for an internship. You get an internship with a good law firm like CAM, SAM, and you work hard there. Let's say if an NU student is doing 2 hours of work, you do 4 hours of work. Okay, you do double of what he is doing. If he stays back till 1 o'clock, you sleep in the office. Okay, you do that. You should be the first to get into and should be last to get out of the office. If that's the requirement. I'm not saying that do that without any work. Like don't sleep in the office just for any calls. Like don't do that. But I'm saying that, if the work demands it, you do that. You should be the first, at least when you become a professional also, I think the first 5 years of your career, you should be as available as possible. You can't say that today is a Sunday and today is a Saturday, I won't do the work. If your boss calls you want to do the work, the work has to be done.
And I think that's
similarly for
applicable to each and everything that we have been doing, not only the job, but I think today it's 10:30 already. It's Sunday and still we are see the passion, right?
Yeah, so that's why. So it's because I feel like I really wanted to tell this to people that understand something. This is a demanding profession. This is not a cakewalk. And like I said, it's a service industry. You are expecting services from a person. And legal में क्या है, emergency बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. A person might lose out on money. You might say that कि मुझे party में जाना है and I just want to. Yeah, please do take a break. It's always good for your mental health. Do take a break. Take a 7-day off. Work. Take a 7-day off. Go somewhere. Enjoy. Have a good time. Come back. Do that. You should do that. Otherwise, you will burn out. Okay, so you should do that. But I would always suggest that be serious about the thing. You understand that your work comes first. You have to have that. If you are planning to work for a good law firm like a tier 1, tier 2 law firm, then this is there. And I think also for a professional, if you've seen litigation, the people who have done litigation, first, so when I was working with Justice Harish Tandon, he used to tell me this one thing, that minimum time period for a litigator is 3 years and the maximum time period for a litigator is 7 years. अगर आपने 3 साल के 7 साल के अंदर आपका नहीं हुआ तो आपका नहीं होगा. So this is the time period. So the first 7 years of a litigator's career is actually, I would say, it's you don't see your family also. I think you would hardly see your family in those the 7 years that you will have during litigation. And that's how it is. You need to accept that fact and you got to move on with it. But yes, I think the work-life balance is also important. So this, yeah, I tell you this, people make time. People make time. No law firms will make you work 24 hours a day or रोज 18 hours का काम नहीं होता है. There might be very few days which will be very hectic, but there will be few days where chill out also. It will work for you. So you can manage. The person who really can make time will make time. Okay. So it's about how well you are with time management. So that's a skill you need to learn. So that's you can't do anything about.
That till now the conversation was very engaging, but I think the very, very important question which every viewer like wants me to ask you is that what's the recruitment process like in the Argus, be it internships or be it for any sort of post?
Okay, so internships, I already gave you an insight about what we look for. For jobs also, so mostly what we are doing right now is that we have recently revamped our entire careers page. So careers page on the website, if you go, so you will see the entire form is there. So you have to fill up that form, you'll get an auto response, and that goes directly to the HR. So we have a table made and we see and we filter out things from there. So normally the process of recruitment, which I am aware of, is that we have a 10-pointer system. So there are mostly 2 partners who interview for the you for the job, and you have to get a minimum of 7 out of 10 to actually clear the interview. Okay, so if both the partners have not given you a minimum of 7, then you have not cleared the interview. Okay, so that is one thing, and we are very clear about the professional experience we are looking for. Sometimes we also recruit freshers like 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 years. Sometimes we recruit seniors also, but we are very active that's on the company page that we have. So we post all our vacancies over there itself. So anyone can apply. So the process is very transparent. Okay, so it's not something that you won't get to know from where the recruitment is happening. Like I know for a fact there might be a lot of law firms who are not very active on LinkedIn, or probably they're active but they don't regularly post out the job updates. So people are really oblivious of the fact that kaise recruitment karna hai. But with Argus, I don't think that's the issue because we are very active on LinkedIn, and all the job posts which are there are active job posts. Okay, so we are actively recruiting. So your CV will be seen. So please make sure that you don't be on that. So don't have to mail us like 4 times, 5 times that please see my CV. I had applied like on this date. So I see a lot of internship applications that way, that this is just a gentle reminder that I had sent my application on this date. So this is just a gentle reminder to see my CV. Understand something that person has seen your CV. And if you have been selected, you will get a reward back. So it's not that we don't see the CV. No one in the law firm who has an active HR team or someone who looks into the internships or something, there's no law firm who does not read emails. Yeah, there might be situations where you might skip 1 or 2 posts. That human error is anywhere. That's your luck probably. But that's like very, very minor. That's like a 0.1% chance that some mail would be missed out. So that doesn't happen. So that's why I say whenever you apply, please have, even for the jobs, whenever you're applying, please have a very, very well written cover CV if you're applying on email. So right now we have actually done away with that process. So though the recruitment email ID is already there on the website also, and on the LinkedIn page also you can find it. So right now we have made the form itself, we have customized the form in such a manner that आपको उतना मेहनत करना ही नहीं है. You just fill in the details that we want our HR to know, and he or she will recruit you from there. But so obviously your CV will speak for you. So your CV should be very well. So it should be a formatted CV. It should not be like, so that thing should be there. So I think that's the recruitment process.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing the whole process. But I think on a more positive note, I think now we should wrap up the session. So I must ask you any sort of advice you have for the budding lawyers, the law students who are into initial years of law school, as to, when they'll surely going to watch this video, they'll surely say that you've worked with Bar and Bench, you've worked with Law2Buzz, you've worked with so many organizations, and right now you're at Argus, right? So as to what sort of advice you have for the fresh law graduates particularly of 2020 and 2021. And then the budding law students who really want to build their career maybe into litigation or corporate, but they're still confused, So what sort of advice you have for them?
So, firstly, like I said, that this decision should be made in your third year, which segment you want to go. But if you have not made that decision, I would always say that there are many different career paths also which has opened up in the long run. Bar and bench, I think the experience was fantastic because over there I got to learn a lot. So your interpersonal skills develops, your reading skill develops because you have to read the judgments right every day to understand what is the point of law which is changing, what is the new thing which is being brought into the picture. So I think those experiences also makes you a better professional. So I think the people who are graduating like 2021, 2022 also probably. So I would suggest that right now if you're doing an internship with any firm, try to be as focused as you can on that internship. Your focus should be to get a call back or at least land up an interview in that particular law firm. Don't try to switch law firms at the end moment, unless until it's like a very, very big law firm and you want an opportunity. But if it's your first internship also in that law firm, please understand that the chances will be very, very less because you're new, right? You have to make your ground from the very scratch. But in a law firm which have already interned like twice and thrice, people already know you. So it will be easier for you to build your ground in that law firm rather than going for a very new law firm just because of the name. Okay. So understand this, and people who are having this place com in their colleges, I'm not talking about them because I think that part is sorted because people will be going to their campuses. So I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about people like me who are trying to make it there on their own, people who are trying to put it all out and just land up a job or PPO or anything of that sort. So I would say that please do focus on your current internships. Don't intern at different places. Try to stick to one firm and try to stick to the same team if possible. I think that is the most crucial thing I would say, because your chances of recruitment will be at least 80 to 90% in that case. But if you go to a new law firm, I don't know, because a partner not even meet you for a month. Because that's the scenario with the work from home situation going on. You might even see to meet the partner or the team in total. So yeah, please work with people whom you already know. So that's it. I think
That's
that's
a
our
good
advice.
piece of advice for those who are actually struggling to get some sort of jobs or internships. But I think now they can actually understand us to just try to extend your, what do you call it, timeline in the firm. If you have interned for 1 month, at least you can ask for any sort of extension, right? So just try to
Yeah.
do that. Just try to make a good relationships with the partner, senior associate as well, so that you are just familiar with as to how the firm works. And if they need you, they can contact you anytime. So just be
So
available.
it is basically the partner. So partner is, I think, is the most important aspect. So partner or the senior associate, whoever you're working with, the team lead, head, or
Yeah,
whoever is
exactly.
the second in command. So that is the important part. So yeah, so
Yeah.
उनके साथ you need to have a good relation,
Okay.
and I
And
think
I must say
that's
that,
where.
yeah, before concluding this session, I must say that you're very active on LinkedIn and people can actually
Yeah.
contact you for any sort of thing because you do reply, but only to the messages which are, very, what do you call it? So you tell me, what sort of messages do you reply
I tend to reply to all messages. Like I
to?
don't really discriminate that way. I reply to all messages. I see all messages. So it's not that I don't
So yeah,
reply.
I think that's very
But
easy for people to just, type in Mr. Kunal Day on LinkedIn and you can just contact them. He's an associate at Arcus. You just ask him for any sort of assistance. Maybe if you just want to co-author a paper with him, if you just want to ask for an internship, just do that. He'll give you a proper
yeah,
reply.
why not?
What
Why
should be
not?
done? Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, no
Yeah,
offenses. Like you're there to guide them as to what sort of application they should have, what
of
sort of
course.
they should have.
And the best thing is the amount of passion that the law students have. The
Yeah,
professionals, we become like old after like you're 27, 26 years, people will feel like you're 35, 40.
yeah.
But the amount of energy that law students brings on the plate is something that you feel younger. It's like they will do the half of the work for you. So I think it's always good to be engaging with students in that case. So I
Exactly.
think I would always prefer that.
Yeah. So on a more positive note, I'll just conclude a session with just saying that you actually accepted my invitation on a very short notice. You agreed for the same. You actually gave a lot of positive suggestions for the law students, because I've seen as to students struggling, because I do get a lot of messages on LinkedIn. Whenever I open LinkedIn, whenever I just used to scroll it down, I see people are actually struggling. But I think from your story, like the story of your law school, as to how many activities you did, you were very active in mooting, right? So that actually helped you throughout. Then, just doing internships, like you did 1 year of internship at Rub and Rub, that actually made you realize as to how litigation works, as to like you actually understood the difference between the law school knowledge plus the practical knowledge you get when you intern at a place. You actually taught people as to you should learn something from your internship. You need to take internship as serious as your exams, right? These are the sort of exams of yours which happen for 1 month. They can actually extend for the other month as well, because you don't ask extension for the exams, but do ask extension for such sort of exams. Because
Yeah.
I'll just ask you to repeat that dialogue again, because that is a very positive, that maybe the exams won't make you land up for a job, but the internship will, right? So this is
Yeah.
something, a positive takeaway from this interview, and I must say that this was
No,
very.
I won't say that the marks don't matter, because that's the first
Yeah,
segment on your
this
CV,
is
so it does
something
matter. But
that is
I'm saying
being
that,
followed from so
yeah,
many years, that if you have good marks, you have good scope.
correct. So that is a anyway by default thing. Like you
Yeah,
can't take that
exactly.
away.
That's a
But
constant.
I'm saying that so you're so I'm saying that, see, for every law school, I'm saying, like, let's say you're a law school person who is not among the top 15, 20 law schools, but but you end up landing a very good internship. So it is mostly for those people that this statement is very valid, that your law school exam might fetch you a good rank in your class, but it might not fetch you that job. But this internship where you're landing, if you just perform to your best, if you're the star performer, and out of that 10 people who are interning with you, if you're the one top performer out of the 10 people, you might end up getting the job. And I think that's the best you can do. And that is where everything accumulates ultimately. Your law school education, all the moods you do, your papers you write, everything का test जो exam है ना, that's an internship. वो वहीं आपका सबका टेस्ट हो जाता है, how much you have worked hard during your law school life. It all shows in your internship. So that is the place where you should actually show. Your work should speak for you. Your certificates, वो तो ठीक है, that's fine, but your work should speak for you. And I think if you really want to impress someone, and I think in that case, the internship is the place. So all the cumulative things that you have been, telling people, oh, that I've done this, done that, I've done this mode, that mode, it won't be helpful if the partner gives you a research and you can't find that case law.
And you
Okay.
can't say that, sir, I'm so sorry, I could not find out something.
And yeah, you can't say that partner ki, sir, I did this mode and I was a winner. Okay, I'm good with research, but I
could not find it. Sir, trust me that it took me
so yeah.
I could not find anything, sir. Can you just give me some sort of alternative question to research on? This is the worst feeling which I have personally faced. The partner was good enough to actually explain me to Damini, you should never say this. At least just try to come up with the wrong answer. At least I'll be satisfied that you did research, but never come up with, sir, I could not find out anything.
No, so I would say in that case, so see, if there's a proposition, there will be some answer to it. Now, either it's a yes or it's a no. So if it's a no, you tell the partner that this is a no. Like from my end, it's a no. And you should be confident about it. Okay. Now, if the partner sends you कि नहीं इसमें ये भी है, so that's fine. You're learning. Okay. But I was saying there's always an answer, right? It's either a yes or it's a no. It's actually it's कुछ भी नहीं है. There has to be some answer to it. Like इतना dead end research भी नहीं देते हैं law firm वाले कि कोई answer ही नहीं होगा उस पे. There will be some case law on it. Either it's going to be yes or a no. Like that's my thing on it.
Yeah. So I think, Kunal, with this, we need to wrap up the session. And thank you so much once again for this very, very engaging session. And I must say that the ones who are going to watch this video, they can surely comment on the comment section. They can approach you through LinkedIn, and you can just help them in any manner you can.
Sure. I'll try to do my best as much as I can. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Damini. Thank you for